All views expressed in this podcast are the opinion of the host and in no way medical advice. It feels kind of weird doing this with you, to be honest, because I'm so comfortable with you
Yeah.
that the idea of being like formal at all is really difficult.
Yeah, I'm never formal.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which is probably a good thing.
Yeah.
But so yeah, thanks for being here, Eli.
Thank you for having me.
It's
already very formal.
but I really do appreciate it because I think you are a really cool person, and you managed to do an awful lot of things with your life.
Thank you.
And I always just I love the idea of having the opportunity to just pick your brain a little bit and find out how on earth you manage to do all the things you do.
Mm-hmm.
Now, not to mention, of course, you're also from a very different culture to here, which is also something I find really, really fascinating, especially just the Asian culture in general.
Mm-hmm.
I always think it's always one of the most fascinating, and I've always wondered, is it just because the language is so different
Mm-hmm.
that it's impossible to have any kind of idea
Mm-hmm.
what language means? You know, whereas like you look at Spanish or Germanic languages or whatever,
Yes.
you can kind of have a guess, you can kind of work it out.
Yeah.
Whereas like take Japanese or Mandarin, it's
Mhm.
just I have zero idea.
Right.
Anyway, that was a long-winded way of saying, could you tell us a little bit about your culture, please, Eli?
Oh. Woohoo.
That'd be all right.
I grew up from a Chinese background, so my parents are quite conservative in that way.
Yeah.
In that Chinese way whereby strict upbringing, they
Mm.
expect me to be good at math, to be
Yeah.
good at science,
Mhm.
to be good at languages. I'm not good at any of those. So there was one year whereby I actually failed all my subjects.
Really?
Yeah. So F for everything in school
Wow.
except for art, which I got A.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I have always been quite a black horse in the dark horse
Yeah.
in the family.
Okay. Yeah.
So
I think it's hard for people. There's a stereotype that, you know, Asian parents can be very hard on their kids for academic success.
yeah.
But I'd say it's hard to imagine how difficult something like that could maybe be for parents to accept like literally all Fs apart from art.
Yeah.
Like what was that like when you went home and told them that?
I think I shut myself out for many years, and I don't really talk about this.
Yeah.
Because it's something whereby I think I spoke to you earlier just now over lunch. It's something whereby if I can go back in time, what would I do different? And I think this is something that I would do different.
The academic part?
The academic part, because it's something that I am a little bit ashamed of myself, but it's also something that made me who I am.
Yeah.
And I should be proud of myself
absolutely
for being able to learn other things,
Mhm.
to be street smart.
Yep.
You know, so yeah, I think like even now my parents, they would be like, oh, you useless son, but not in a nasty way.
Yeah.
You know, it's just an Asian parent, like Asian parents who how they are. They're
Right.
like, oh, you useless son, you don't give me money, you don't do this, you don't do that. That sort of.
See, if you said that here, I think people would take it very literally. Like, if a parent told you were a useless son,
Uh-huh.
you would be pretty devastated by it, I think.
Yeah.
But that's just an example of a cultural difference, I guess.
Yeah. So my mom, she would still do that. She'd be like, oh, you useless son. So I've brought you up for like what 30 years, and I still see nothing from you.
Yeah.
That sort of thing. And when I show something that is like creative to her,
Yeah.
she'll be like, why are you doing this? It's useless.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
It's just a mindset thing that can't be shifted.
It just can't be shifted. But
Yeah.
but I think now, instead of like trying to fight that part of them, I try to explain it more. Because when I was younger, I would be like, what do you know about me? You don't know anything about me.
Yeah.
So I would just shut it out. But I think in like it's not even years. I think like recent months. So like for like earlier this year, I started doing that. I try to explain to them what I do and what I have done, so to make them feel like, okay, maybe what I'm doing is actually something that is positive. rather than something that whereby they can't relate to.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's trying to be more, to work in harmony with them.
Yeah.
And I
Try and
think this-
understand
Yeah.
their point of view.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I find that myself, like, I think just the rate of progress that humanity has made in the last 30 years is
Mhm.
so insanely fast
Yeah.
that when you look at like just 2 generations ago, like say our parents, because we were roughly the same age, right?
Yeah.
And you kind of go like, how are you not getting this?
Mm-hmm.
But when you really, like you say, try and understand it from their point of view,
Yeah.
you go, well, things have moved probably more in the last even 10 years than they did in their entire life.
Yes.
So basically it's nice to cut them a bit of slack, like you're trying to do every now and again,
Yeah.
because you know it's
Yeah.
just it's unprecedented
Yes.
kind of growth.
Yeah. And I also think it's probably like different circumstances in life. Yeah. So like whereas for them, because I believe, I'm just trying to trace back. So it was okay, so they moved to Singapore when they were about my age or maybe a bit younger.
Mm-hmm.
So it must be not an easy journey
Yeah.
for them.
Yeah.
You know, so they have a different perspective, different priorities in life. So they came over to Singapore with already 2 kids.
Mm-hmm.
So which is me and my elder sister.
Yeah.
So then a few years after they had my brother.
Mm-hmm.
So 3 kids for them, and trying to bring 3 children up while trying to have a job,
Yeah.
while trying to keep their mortgage
Yeah.
and all the bills and crap and shit and all the emotional like
Baggage.
their baggage
Yeah.
from their kids, and
Yeah.
growing up during the teenagers, it must not be easy for them.
Definitely.
Because-
While being in a new country as well.
Yeah,
Everything's different.
yeah, and rebellious kids.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
uh-huh. Yeah,
Yeah. It's nice to have a little bit of, is it empathy
yeah,
for your folks?
yeah,
Yeah.
probably.
It's
Yeah.
interesting though that you say that only very, very recently.
Yes,
Doesn't it just show you? I always find this really fascinating. Like there's no timeline on like growth, personal growth at all.
no,
You know, like 9 months ago, you might have just been like, why don't they get me?
yeah,
5 months ago, same. But 2 months ago, now you're like, no, I try and see it from their point of view.
yes,
I just find that amazing. Because
Yeah.
you're like, what, 34?
yeah,
I just find that amazing. Like there's no timeline on it, but in a way I love that, because it means like it's never too late to realize that you can change for the better.
Yeah.
Everybody can.
yeah, yeah,
It's never too late to
Yeah.
learn new things or try and be more empathetic or just have a change of mindset.
yes,
I love that.
yeah,
I think that's great, and something that's really useful to remember for people who feel a bit stuck sometimes in a
Yes.
certain way of thinking.
yeah.
It's like it's really not.
Yeah.
Doesn't
I
have
think,
to be that way.
life, like what you say, life is a progress.
Yeah.
So there are different phases in life, and I feel like I'm entering a new phase
Yeah.
now, and especially this year, I'm not sure why. Maybe COVID. We are looking. We can see the light at the end of the tunnel with COVID,
Mhm.
and with that there are a lot more new opportunities, new kind of work, new kind of experiences in life, and there is a turn, and I can feel that turn.
Mhm.
It's not a full turn yet, but it's you know, when something is about to happen but it's not there,
Yep.
and you just know it, that sort of feeling,
Yeah.
then everything clicks, from like my own personal life to my own professional life. It's just kind of gels together.
Yeah.
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 Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. I find that definitely tends to be the case for me as well. It's like it's feast or famine.
Yes.
You know,
Yeah.
either everything's going really, really terribly, because you kind of perpetuate more terribleness because you're
Yes.
feeling negative.
Yeah.
And as soon as you decide,
Uh-huh.
no, I think things are going to go pretty well for me because I'm going to make them happen, then
Yeah.
it just does work.
Yes.
Anyway, so you were talking there a bit about some personality challenges
Mm-hmm.
being from a traditional or conservative Asian family or whatever.
Yeah.
Was there anything else that people might find different or more particularly challenging to hear from you?
Yeah. I think Singapore is a special place, like what I mentioned before. So although it's a very Asian it's an Asian country.
Yeah.
So but we have different religion and such. So but we are also all very we are also all like educated in English.
Yeah.
So and we have we have American TV in Singapore, British TV and all.
Mm-hmm.
So we absorb all these different cultures from different countries from outside our little red dot
Yeah.
on Earth.
Mm-hmm.
So and for me, I come from an art school, so all my friends, we were quite wild. So we will go partying and all. So like for me, my growing up experience is very Asian within my own family, which is one part of my life, but it is not for also a big part of my life outside of my own family.
Mm.
So there's a disassociation in between
Mm-hmm.
between my friend my outside life and my family life.
Yeah.
Yeah. Uh yeah. So that's how I see it, and also for me coming from Hong Kong, sometimes my friend will mock me for my accent.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I see it as very Singaporean,
Uh-huh.
but my friends they don't hear it that way.
Right.
So
right.
yeah. So they used to make fun of me, and I would get annoyed. They would say, "Oh, why do you pronounce this word as this?" So I'm like, but what's wrong with that?
Yeah.
So I'll get annoyed for a few days, sometimes, yeah, days. But I don't say it to them.
Why does that bother you? Why would that have bothered you so much?
Why would that bother me so much? Because I think I already know that I'm different. So and as a teenager growing up, or as like a young adult in his early 20s growing up, I think I want to feel belong to like a group,
Yeah.
and I feel belong to that group of friends. But when they mock me saying that I'm different, I really believe that I'm different.
Right. Okay.
In that sense,
Yeah.
you know, you were a little bit more insecure as a young adult,
Yeah.
but whereby now I don't. So now I feel a lot more comfortable. I'm like, okay, if I'm different, I'm different. Like I don't care. This is just
Yeah.
how I'm going to be.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Do you think like having lived in different countries helps the ability to accept
I think
who
it
you
does.
are as someone who's outside the normal sort of template, if you will, for whatever that means?
Yeah.
I always find that with people I know who've lived in different places, they seem way more able to kind of like, just take different bits from, I guess, everywhere they've lived
Yeah.
and sort of become more than the sum of their parts, you
Yeah,
know,
yeah.
as opposed to someone who just gets quite set in their ways.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I was talking to a friend yesterday, whom you have met, Brienne.
Yeah.
So I was talking to her, and we were talking about our life in Cambodia. So so as you know, I've lived in Cambodia before I moved here.
Yeah.
So and I asked her, so how do you feel about Cambodia? So she said it's a bit strange because it's like meeting an ex-boyfriend whereby you have not met for years.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Because she lived there as well before, right?
she lived there before as well. She lived there for 5 years, and I lived there for 2.5 years. Yeah. So her life there was double, yeah, of mine.
Yeah.
Yeah. So so she had a longer relationship with Cambodia than I do. So then I said to her, I'm like, yeah, it's that feeling of like when you live abroad, it's like it's almost like going to high school or secondary school again.
Mhm.
It's like the first day of school, moving to a new country. It's like, oh, you're so excited.
Yeah.
You're going to like prepare everything. Everything needs to be new, and like, oh my god, learn new languages, and like everything is like a learning journey.
Yeah.
But once that is done, it's like you have graduated, and it's more of like a fond memory rather than you want to live back in your past again.
Yeah.
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 So and I think I have grown a lot as a person, as who have self who who likes to learn new things,
Yeah.
and have developed myself
Yeah.
in terms of like photography. I did most of my photography there.
Mm-hmm.
Writing, editorial, social media. So all those things I actually picked it up in Cambodia because there wasn't anybody there.
Mm.
Yeah, to kind of teach you how to do it,
Right. Right.
other than yourself.
Yeah.
So, and with the power of like Google and the internet, so all you have to do is you just have to read a lot and pick information, the right information.
Yeah.
Yeah, because there's so many out there, and a lot of them are trash, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
But you still managed to look through enough trash to find the good ones.
There's just a lot of trial and error,
Yeah.
you know. And
How do you have the or how would you advise, or what would you advise someone with regards to trial and error? Like, how do you have the patience, or is patience the right word, to go through so much trial and error to become really good at what you do? Do you think it's a personality thing that's sort of baked into you genetically, or is it something that you learned? Do you think?
I think it could be a personality thing. I am not sure how to where to put my finger on it.
Yeah.
So what I kind of usually do is that, because I plan a lot, and I like to have like mental planning and things like that. So when I first started, I know I would enjoy photography, but I know nothing about photography. So so I picked up a camera, and I read a lot about the functions and things like that, the aperture, the shutter speed and all, like why, and I just question myself,
Yeah.
and I just play around with it over and over and over and over again. So that was my main interest back then, and it should be more than 10 years ago.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So and that's how I pick up photography. And
That's funny. That's like the exact same timeline and the exact same way of learning, really.
yeah.
That happened to me as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So with that, then I'm like, okay, now I know the basics of photography. So how am I going to kind of like market my skill out?
Mm.
So I'm like, oh, and back then Instagram was like huge, and I think it's still huge, but now with TikTok taking over.
Mm.
But Instagram was a platform. So then I started kind of like okay, what kind of content should I put? And back then it was a huge kind of like influencer kind of thing. So I'm like, okay, I don't really have the time to like look for models and things like that, to like do test shoots and like to organize and to set up studio and to rent, because I was only in my early 20s. I don't have that budget to rent studios and all. I did a few test shoots, and it was fun. I contacted my friends, I contacted model agencies and all. So that was an experience that I have done. So so anyway, I digress. So anyway, then Instagram came up. So I'm like, okay, maybe I can do that myself. So I started taking selfies
Yeah.
that kind of look professional, fashion-ish
Mm-hmm.
with myself.
Yeah.
So then that's when I started teaching myself how to pose
Yeah.
and all those. Yeah. And yeah, and I got myself into a publication job and things like that when I was in Cambodia. And when I moved here, of course, no jobs or anything. And then I've already got a social media following and all. So I'm like thinking, okay, what should I do next? What should I do next? What should I do next? And then I was in between jobs, no jobs. Then I did extra for films, for movies and for TV sets. So I met this hairstylist. So he still does my hair, and he recommended me to a modeling agency, and then that's when I started doing a bit of modeling professionally. Yeah. So I think I'm quite lucky in that sense that everything kind of flows,
Yeah.
because I've never really put myself into like a timeline of like how did I actually do it.
Mm.
But now that when I put it into words, yeah,
Yeah.
I think things work out kind of quite smoothly to what I have envisioned myself. Probably I had a vision of how I want things to be like,
Yeah.
and it has kind of like latched on to me, and maybe I give off that vibe, that sort of thing, and people come to me and they ask me,
Yeah.
and I just take on anything, because no matter how small the opportunity is, it's an opportunity, and I will take it.
Yeah.
Like even when I get casting calls or any sort of casting, I do everything, all the auditions, although I might not get it,
Yeah.
you know, like 1 out of 1,000 chance I might get it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But just what a fantastic attitude, I think.
Mm-hmm.
I just
Thank
I can't even imagine how different the entire world would be if everyone had that default mindset
Uh-huh.
to just take any opportunity and see what happens.
Yeah.
You know,
I think
that's
you
incredible.
I think you just have to play around with it and just have fun. You know, but of course be logical, and of course be sensible.
Yeah.
You know, because you still need to eat.
Yeah.
You know,
sure.
but it's a good skill to have to know a bit of things here and there. I'm not good at everything. You know, but I'm good enough to get by.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the things that you know that you're good at, you lean into them.
Yeah.
And just take every opportunity, like you said.
Yeah.
I think that's really, really inspiring for me, genuinely, that you just started dicking around with a camera
Yes.
because you thought, I might like this.
Yeah.
And then that led you to teaching yourself how to use the camera, but also teaching yourself how to pose for your own camera.
Yes. Yeah.
And you did that for long enough that you then built up a following on Instagram that you then just put yourself into the position to then be the model for other people, i.e. be a professional model. That's just so amazing. Like you literally,
Thank you.
it's that term that I'm trying to remember there earlier. It's still not coming to me. Law of attraction. Thank you. There it is. Finally.
Yeah.
In other words, you just, you literally just could not have made that happen for yourself anymore. Like you did all the work you possibly could.
Yeah.
To get there.
Yeah.
And I just always wonder, like I said, if that was a default position for most people,
Yeah.
the world would just be full of like really thriving, happy people, I'm sure.
I hope so. But I feel like it's never enough. You know, there's for me, I feel like maybe that's a cultural thing, you know, like because I've been brought up like, okay, it's never enough. So for me, it's like, okay, I'm not there yet, and it's not enough.
Yeah.
So what can I do next? How can I push myself a little bit further?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So I'm just like that's why like this year I started sending out my pictures to everywhere, to all agencies as much as possible. Yeah. To just find opportunities.
See what happens.
Yeah, see what happens.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's interesting. My thing is always, if everyone took the opportunities that came to them, like I just said, like what a way the world would be. So I'd love to know your opinion on how do you see this culture as a stranger to this culture, if that's the right word for it, coming in. Because I would say that is, maybe I'm being negative, but I would say that's very not the default position for this culture. I feel a lot of the times people, and I'm as guilty as anyone, I'm sure, at certain points in my life, they sit around and wait for opportunities to be given to them.
Yeah.
To someone to come knocking on their door, you know?
Yeah.
What do you make of that? Do you see it that way, or am I full of crap?
I don't see it as like a cultural thing. It could be upbringing for me. Maybe like a family culture thing. But I because each to their own, right? Everyone has their own personality. So I might feel like possibly this could be like just who I am as a person, to always look out for something new, for something fresh, because I also think I get bored quite easily.
Yeah.
You know, like if you do the same thing over and over and over again for years, it's different.
Yeah.
But whereas like you come from an art school, I come from an art school, we all always have like different projects and it's always something fun.
Mm.
So, and I always like to do something that is new, something that is fun, something that is exciting.
Yeah.
You know, like every photography job is different.
Mm.
Every model job is different, and we all learn something new at the end of each single project.
Yeah.
And that is what I enjoy about photography and being on set, regardless if it's like if it's like being an extra on a film set, whether if it's being a model on a fashion shoot. You know, when I look at how other photographers work, I'm like, okay, how can I apply that to myself if I'm going to do a photo shoot?
Yeah.
You know, for example, like yesterday I had a shoot,
Mm-hmm.
and I thought the photographer was so creative with his lighting.
Yeah.
You know, like for me, I just use a 3 light system, headlight, 2 lights at the back.
Mm-hmm.
That's it.
Yeah.
And I just like, okay, make full use of the 3 lights that I can afford.
Yeah.
Because I can't afford 6, 7 expensive lights. Right?
Yeah.
But for him, it's like, oh, he turned this and he click and he press and he look. Yes, I do that.
Mm-hmm.
But I've only got 3 lights, but he has got 6 lights. So I see like, okay, how he create the shape
Yeah.
at the back using this light,
Yeah.
and he used like the gel and where the light will cast.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that is something that is new, that is fresh. That is something that I want to learn, that is interesting.
Yeah.
You know, so I see it more of like I wouldn't say a cultural thing though. Yeah.
Yeah.
I would say it's
More a personality thing.
more personality, how hungry you are to learn.
Yeah.
Yeah. But not in your face. Like, oh, I want to learn this, and I just like
Yeah.
uh-huh.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I guess maybe what I'm getting at more is like what kind of what is the social welfare system like in Singapore, for example? Do you
Give me an example of social welfare.
like government benefits for unemployed people or whatever?
Oh, there isn't such thing in Singapore.
There's no such thing
No.
at
Yeah.
all.
No.
So if
No.
you're unemployed, you better get a job. Is that it?
So yeah, so there should be a job available for everyone in Singapore. At least that's what I
Really?
know. Yeah.
That's the system.
Yeah, that's the
The
system.
system is there is no system. Just there'll be a job for
Yeah.
you.
Because there are jobs that you can probably clean the table. There are jobs that probably you can there's a job that probably is like an low end job that you can do.
Yeah.
You can pick it up.
Yeah.
You know? So yeah, so that's the logic, at least from what I have read.
Okay.
Yeah.
You see, that's kind of what I was getting at more, whereby those kind of jobs exist here, but
Mhm.
people won't do them.
Yeah. Yeah.
They'd rather just go get benefits,
Mm-hmm.
which is
Because it's the easier way out.
yeah,
Yeah.
which is literally free money, as I'm sure you know, from the government,
Mm-hmm.
for doing absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
And that's the kind of thing, I mean, does that, I wonder, perpetuate in our culture more
Yes.
and more the idea that I can't be arsed looking for opportunities because sure, I'm comfortable here.
Yeah.
I'll get my money for free
Mhm.
from the government
Yeah.
for doing nothing.
Yeah.
So there's no incentive to, you know,
Yeah.
go do anything else.
I suppose like in Singapore it's more of like a socialist country.
Yeah.
So it works both ways.
Yeah.
You know, you reap what you get.
Yep.
You know, you need to work for your own benefit.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So if you don't work, you can't expect things to come to you.
Mm.
Yeah, on a silver plate.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I always just wonder again how different a country like this could be, or even the UK in general, if it was a bit more like that,
Yeah.
where there was a lot more onus on your reward is equal to your effort.
Yeah.
And if you
Yeah.
just clearly, don't get me wrong, I think it's great that it exists for some people, you know, that,
Yes.
that are stuck, or you
Yeah.
have ill health, or you
Yeah.
genuinely can't work.
Yeah.
I think it's an amazing thing,
Yes.
but no question there is literally thousands upon thousands of people just exploiting the crap out of it,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
So anyway,
Yeah.
that's interesting. Singapore has a zero system like that. Yeah.
I might be wrong though.
I'm sure it's well, no, I have no idea. But yeah,
Yeah.
I'm sure it could not be as generous as the UK anyway.
No, yeah,
Definitely not.
yeah. But I think you possibly might need to do some Google research. Maybe I might be wrong.
Okay.
Yeah, if not, you will be like, but I think I'm right. But I think I could be wrong.
You lied to us.
Like,
I just realized that I completely I introduced you really terribly. So apologies.
no, that's okay.
Because the whole reason that I'm so fascinated by, well, I've always been fascinated with cultural differences, and especially Asian culture.
Mm-hmm.
I think for the reason I mentioned earlier, it's just so different.
Yeah.
It's so hard to kind of understand
Mm-hmm.
with language and so on. But the reason in particular I'm asking you so many questions is because we met about nearly a year and a half ago. Is that about right?
Must be, yeah, a year and a half. Oh my god.
Yeah, we worked together for a while.
Yeah.
And it was one of those things whereby we just like, when you meet someone and you're like, well, now we're friends for life.
Yes.
Just like
Yeah,
instantly.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which is just like such a cool thing.
Yes.
It doesn't happen very often.
No, not at all.
So, but for that reason, it's like we've so many of the same interests. We're about the same age, etc.
Yeah.
But we're from literally opposite sides of the world.
Yes.
So that's what I meant to say earlier, that that's why I love asking you so many questions about culture, because as we've just described, our cultures are quite different,
Mm-hmm.
but yet we're really, really
We are
similar.
quite similar.
Yeah.
Yeah. As there's a saying in Southeast Asia called same but different.
Right. Yeah.
There's a t-shirt that you can buy from Thailand, same but different.
Yeah. That's cool. Might have to get one of those. So, like I say, I really find your attitude really inspiring.
Thank you.
Is there any, or what challenges have you faced either professionally or in your personal life that you have found difficult? If you would like to share any examples, feel free to say piss off, I'm not telling you.
So, professionally, I think I am I don't really like to follow the norm of how things work.
Right.
So I always try to find, maybe loophole is not the right word to use, but let's do that for now because it's easy to understand.
Yeah.
So I will try to find loopholes in the system.
All right.
And see how I can work around the system to suit me.
Yeah.
On how I kind of like work to achieve results. It might not be good.
Mm-hmm.
It might be bad. But it might be bad. But it benefits both ways.
Yep.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So you mean more so in a way whereby you get to just enjoy the work better because you're not doing it by the book, but doing it more the way you like to do it?
Yeah. Because I was a visual merchandiser in Singapore.
Mm-hmm.
So I would be like, okay, I worked really hard yesterday and I'm like doing store visits all around town. So I'm going to give myself like 2 or 3 hours off, lunch break, and I'll go watch a movie.
Yeah.
And nobody would find out, that sort of thing. Yeah. You know, but it's cheap thrill maybe for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, in a way whereby I still do my work and I'm still very responsible for that. But that's the loophole that I would look out for.
But it's kind of like you're balancing out because you feel like you worked really, really hard.
Yeah.
Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
As in, you wouldn't just do it every day. You wouldn't.
I wouldn't do it every day, but I also find the thrill out of it. Like if my boss or somebody call, I'm like, oh shit. I'm like, okay, should I answer this? Should I not? Or should I pretend? You know, that sort of thrill.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe not a lot of people might relate to it.
But I think a lot of people wish they could admit that they relate to it, but they'll probably pretend that they can't relate to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or like you were talking about with me about like being in the army.
Yeah.
And how I find myself like my experience in the army.
Yeah.
So it's similar experience actually, like because army is so regimental.
Yeah.
And I'm not.
Yeah.
You know, so and I hated it. So what I remember, there was one incident whereby, let me try to think. One of my sergeants brought beer in.
Yeah.
So, and it was a guard duty. So once a month or twice a month we would do guard duty and stay overnight in camp.
Yeah.
So my sergeant would be like, let's go for beer, and be like, where? So like, let's go to the rooftop. So we
Yeah.
found a key to the roof and we unlocked the door and we sat up on the roof for hours drinking and not doing guard duty,
Yeah.
that sort of thing.
Yeah.
But we were able to get away with it. And I forgot, there was once I even totally forgot about guard duty, and the day before I was actually partying
Yeah.
and I was dancing, and the next morning I was drunk, woke up hangover, and I had like 99 plus missed call
Oh shit.
from camp, and I panicked so badly.
Yeah.
So badly, but I always get away with it somehow or rather.
Yeah.
But that was an honest mistake though.
Do you think? Here's my theory, off the top of my head. Is it karma? Like, you get away with it because you're a genuinely nice person, and I only say that because like I know you
Thank you.
a bit by now at least. You know what I mean? Like, you're a kind person. You're generous. You try to help people whenever you can, and all that kind of stuff. So I think karma wouldn't let you off with those things if you weren't those other things.
I'm not sure. I think it's a bit of both. I think I either annoy people a lot, or I work very well with that person, like such as you.
You're
Yeah,
a
or
Marmite kind of person.
Yeah, or some people might find me like really annoying.
Yeah.
Maybe. Yeah, that I'm always like trying to beat the system and all, and they probably know, and I probably get away with it, and they're like, oh my god, this guy is like so annoying.
Yeah.
I think it's a
I never
just-
really noticed that about you that much.
Really?
To be fair, no.
yeah.
You're trying to beat the system.
Yeah.
Maybe you just do it.
Maybe I do
instinctually.
it, but you don't, because I'm so good at it.
Ah, yeah. You're a true smooth criminal.
Yes.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There are a lot more other examples that I can give, but maybe not through the camera. I think I might get myself
Tell
a lot
me.
into trouble.
Tell me. Tell me after.
Yeah,
I'll write them
so
down and see
much.
if I can
Yeah,
get
yeah,
away with them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
hmm And personal.
Personal, yeah.
Yeah. So personal wise, well, you know about my sexuality,
Uh-huh.
and I don't really talk about it on camera.
Yeah.
So this is actually the first time that I talk about it openly.
Yeah.
So and the reason why is because it's almost like coming out all over again every single time.
Wow. Yeah.
You know, and every time you meet a new person, you have to come out.
Right. Right.
So it's not just one time, 2 times, 3 times. It's like every single time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So
And do you think that would be different though if the first coming out was really, really easy? Maybe the preceding times wouldn't feel as hard.
I think everyone has got a different story,
Well,
and kind of like a different kind of like readiness. Like, when are they ready to come out? You know, for me, I wasn't ready. Even until I came out, I wasn't ready. So and that has kind of like instilled into my mind whereby, okay, every time I meet a new person, what should I say?
really,
And
yeah.
should I just be straightforward and just tell them, or should I not? So so it kind of like complicates things a little bit. So like, for example, like yesterday, because the hairstylist that introduced me to my modeling agent asked me how I got here. So I just gave a very generic story, like, okay, I've got relations
Yeah.
here, which is true to a certain extent. So so that was my story to him. Then the photographer asked the same thing, so I have to say the same story to him. So it went down that rabbit hole of like, I can't say the truth to him anymore. The story went down too deep,
Right.
you know, but I want to tell them.
Mm.
but it's a hole. It's my own hole that I have dug
Right.
as well. You know,
Yeah.
because I also like to be private, but I also want to come out. But I have come out so much that there's a whole dilemma.
Yeah.
You know, it's like a vicious circle.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Kind of thing.
I know what you mean. I think
Yeah.
just knowing you a bit, you're very open and extroverted and happy most of the time.
Yeah.
So I could just about understand from some degree
Right.
how challenging that must be to have this thing that you just can't feel like you can share.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that must be quite difficult. It
It
must
is.
have been quite difficult.
Yeah. It's only like, I think that's why I feel like this year is a turning point, because it's only about March or so I was like, okay, I'm just going to tell people when I introduce myself, like why am I here and things like that. So I just explained, and it seemed fine so far.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I have to do that with every single like person that I've met.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it makes my life kind of like easier
Mm.
in a way whereby I don't have to kind of like be another person, or like think of another story of like make it general or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I think not liking to say that I'm gay to everyone, or like it could be because of my Asian centric upbringing.
Mm.
You know, that has to be like my conservative kind of like upbringing, that being gay is not good,
Yeah.
being camp is not good. You know, so it kind of like locked up kind of like inside me, that it becomes a private thing that I don't like to share with people.
Mm.
Yeah. But which still is, even now,
Yeah.
like I just don't like telling a lot of people a lot of things about me.
Mm.
Yeah, although I have like my social media and all, and I look like I'm crazy and stuff.
Yeah.
But deep down inside, I'm actually a serious person.
Yeah. Yeah, right.
Yeah.
I totally I feel like I can totally relate to that. The part obviously whereby yeah, I just don't like, I'm quite private.
Mm-hmm.
Again, which people probably think is strange. Like, why would you start a podcast talking about quite deep personal things
Yeah.
if you're a private person?
Yeah.
And I don't know, it's hard to describe in that context, but maybe actually for me, it's like if there's things I can do that might help somebody else, I think it's
Yes.
worth taking
Yeah.
a hit at your personal privacy or your personal comfort levels.
Yeah.
It's worth that
Yes.
to maybe help somebody else. Maybe that's part of the answer. I don't know.
Yes.
But no, I totally get that.
Yeah.
And it's I know quite a lot of people like that actually, because I'm not terribly extroverted, as you know.
Yeah.
I say like you're significantly more extroverted than me.
I'm not. We did a test. We are all introverted.
Oh yeah. That's a good.
We have the same personality type.
Oh yeah, you're right. I still feel like you're, compared to me, you're much more extroverted now.
But I feel the same about you.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. Well, we really must have the same personality. Yeah. What is that test called? Because people should do that test.
I think Myers-Briggs.
Myers-Briggs test.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is it? But what's the website? Something really 16 personalities, isn't that
Yeah.
it?
16personalities.com.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's really good test.
Yeah.
Like the first time I did that, it quite hurt my brain how
Uh-huh.
accurate it was.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
People should do that, right?
People should do that.
Yeah.
I think it's just to understand yourself a little bit more, but
Yeah.
don't take it word for word. It's a guide.
That's funny. I forgot that we both did it together, didn't we? And had the
Yes.
exact same one.
We have the exact same one.
And the one that we
and the
have
rarest personality.
is one of the. Was it?
Our personality is the rarest personality.
Yes, which
of
makes
all.
it even weirder. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's something like less than 2% from memory.
Yes. Yeah.
Have this personality, and
Yeah.
we both have it.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
We are weirdos.
That's crazy.
Yeah. But you know what? There are always people out there that is like us. You know, although we are all unique.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think there will probably be another person who can relate themselves to me, or me to themselves. Yeah, or like
For
another
sure.
person can see you and they can relate themselves to you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah. So I think that's why we try to build like a social platform, but it's not of like it's not more of like conquering our fear, but more of like a creative outlet almost for me.
Mm.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because you have quite a big social media following,
Yeah.
right?
But I've been quite lazy with it.
Yeah,
Like very, very lazy.
yeah. It's
Yeah.
easy to fall off the
Yes.
the wagon,
The
isn't it?
wagon. Yeah.
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 And you need to chase.
Especially for something like, someone was telling me this recently. Who was that? Somebody in work. I don't know, but that they had a friend who was on YouTube, and he
Mhm.
started to do very well on YouTube to the point where he was making money.
Yeah.
And as soon as he started making money, ultimately he stopped really soon afterwards, because just the pressure of that
Yes.
was like, well, now it's not fun.
Yeah.
Now it's not an outlet. Now it's people are relying on me, and YouTube's paying me, and all
Yes.
this kind of thing.
Yeah.
So I know that can definitely be the case sometimes.
Yeah.
It morphs
consumes
into
you.
something else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It consumes you in a way, but I think you need to find a niche that you really like to do.
Yeah.
You know, for me, I have ventured. I thought I like cooking. I enjoy cooking.
Mm.
You know, like I did cooking for about, I think, a year or so.
Yep.
Cooking niche. So because ultimately I'm selling myself, and naturally I'm introverted, so it doesn't feel natural to me. Although I seem like I'm positive, I'm happy and things like that, which I am. But I'm also quite shy.
Yeah.
You know, so, and it starts to consume me, and the amount of work and the time that
Yeah.
you put in. But the result is the only motivating factor.
Mm.
Yeah. So yeah, I think it's a niche that you do, and you need to find something that kind of like that will push yourself forward.
Yeah.
And if you feel like it's not right, then maybe just tweak a little bit here and there, and to see what you like.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Do you think, I just had a thought there, this is a bit random, but do you think in something like what you do on YouTube, or not YouTube, sorry, Instagram,
Mm-hmm.
like with the cooking videos in particular, is there something kind of performative in that? Like, it's a creative outlet, but you're saying, you're actually quite introverted,
Uh-huh.
but you can portray this very bubbly, like crazy jumping around guy.
Yeah.
But do you think is some part of that creative outlet a kind of theater for you?
I think it is. It is some sort of like creative outlet, because I would think of the aesthetic. I would think of the emotions that I want to put forward to the audience.
Yeah.
But of course, still being me.
Yeah.
Yeah. That sort of thing.
Yeah. It's just because I know a couple of people like that. They're actually, I see them, and they have in particular like a work life that's very full on. That's very like people centric,
Yeah.
and they're leaders, and they're
Mhm.
like, always projecting their voice, and like getting their points across, and it works, and they're good at it.
Yeah.
But they'll tell me they're shy, and
Yeah.
that this is the thing that they bring out of themselves
Yeah.
to do what they have to do.
Yeah.
But then they go home at night and kind of go, "Whew,
Yeah. Definitely.
I'm knackered."
Yeah.
And I was just sort of curious, is there
Yeah.
almost something in that that's like a bit performative, like
Yes.
that
Yeah.
can be enjoyable?
So say for example, if I need to hang out with a group of friends,
Hmm.
and not a group of friends. Say for example, if I'm hanging out with a friend that has 3 other friends that I've not met, then it will take a lot of effort out of me,
Yes.
and I will feel so tired
I'm very
after
same.
the end of the evening. So it's not that I'm not being myself during that session,
Yeah.
but it's more of like I need to make an effort of being more like myself.
Yeah.
Yeah. Rather than sitting there looking nervous and all,
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like you have to remind yourself who you are and then be that person.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
So then by the time I go home, it's like, oh my God, I need to sleep for like 3 days.
I absolutely
Yeah.
can understand. What
It's
you're
that
saying.
sort of like spaced out, and you can't think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Well, will we wrap it up?
Yep.
We good?
Mhm.
So, Mr. Model, film star, social media star,
No.
marketing guru, an all-round lovely guy. Oh, and basically professional chef, home cook,
No, home cook.
genius with full-fledged website. What's your website called for your home cooking?
So Crazy Rich Flavor is my home cooking. Yeah.
CrazyRichFlavor.com.
Yeah. So I'm trying to brand like Crazy Rich, inspired by the movie. Very creative. So
Is it Crazy Rich Asians?
yeah.
Okay.
So I quite like that because like there's this website I'm trying to do. It's called Crazy Rich World.
World?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Crazy Rich World, because I want to talk about my life experience in NI,
Okay.
you know, and I thought that would actually be quite fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Crazy Rich World.
yeah, Crazy Rich World. So
And have
I
you
just
got it yet? Have you got it yet?
I've got a domain, but there's no content yet.
Okay.
Yeah, so I want to talk about like different sites, touristy sites, or fun bits in Northern Ireland or around the UK.
Like
where
some
to
of the
visit.
stuff you've started on your reels?
A little bit, yeah,
Okay.
and maybe about like languages, like lingo that like local lingos, yeah.
Yeah.
Like six of one was something that I've learned last night.
You just learned that last night?
Yeah,
Yeah?
yeah, six of one. Then what else? Like so it is. Yeah.
We
So-
taught you so it is a while ago, didn't we?
So it is.
So
Yeah.
it is. Yeah.
So yeah, so I thought that would be quite a fun thing to talk about.
yeah.
You know, like things that I have picked up here in this part of the world.
Yep.
Yeah, so that's something that I'll be working on.
Even that would be a cool name. Just call it 6 of 1.
Six of one. Yeah.
6 of 1.
Six of one. Same.
Same.
Same but different, just different sites. Yeah.
That's cool.
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah, good luck with that. And your Instagram that is, it's Eli?
Yeah. Oops _ is Eli.
_ it's Eli.
Mm-hmm.
So it's OOPS _ it's ELI.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's a fun page.
Thank
It's
you.
kind of a mix of all those things, right? So you've got the start of that sort of showing people around NI
Mm-hmm.
thing. You've got cooking.
Yeah.
You've got fashion.
Mm-hmm.
A mixture of all those things and more.
Yeah. Yeah. I think it's because I've been like trialing so many things,
Yeah.
but I really do need to pick one,
Pick a niche.
pick a niche.
It's hard though, isn't it?
It's hard.
When you're a creative-minded person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I really need to pick on one and like perfect that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. It will come. Yeah.
Oh yeah,
It will
for
come.
sure.
Yeah.
Again, you're obviously willing to just keep plowing on for now, which is great.
Mm-hmm.
You don't need it to be perfect.
No. Yeah.
That's good.
Just do whatever that is happy.
Awesome.
Right.
Well, thanks very much, Eli.
Thank you for having me.
I really appreciate it. This was really fun.
It was very fun. This
Please.
was very fun.
Can you please come on again
Yes,
in the
please.
future?
To a bow.
All right. Yeah. Thanks,
Yeah.
mate.
Thank you.
See you later,
See you later.
everybody. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Caput.
Watch the full video podcast on YouTube at Caput Network.